Hello, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hang on a minute, I just need to go and get a pen.
Hey, Emma, can you hear me? And Lewis, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Cool. We're just going to wait a little bit. We'll wait a couple of minutes for everyone to jump on, and then we will get into it. Emma, are you there? There's Charlie.
Hi.
Oh.
Sorry. Just getting my wig sorted.
It's high accountability now that everyone can see each other's room, so everyone no mess at all. Very organised in the corner there.
God, my house is such a mess. So I'm sat next to a unicorn balloon. It's Izzy's birthday tomorrow, so it's
oh, cool.
That's the relentless one.
Hey, Emma, can you hear me? Not yet. There's a comment section as well, guys, just for your information. So, who else have we got joining here? Who's on the phone?
Hi, this is Cindy Harb. I just dialed in.
Hey, Cindy, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Did you not join from the computer?
I'm actually traveling. I thought it would work on my phone, but it didn't.
Ah, cool. No worries. That's fine. That's right.
Hi, Toby.
Hey, Emma. You can hear me?
Sorry, I haven't used Zoom before, and I'm sitting kind of in the half dark as well, so you probably can't see me very well.
No, that's okay. I can see you. What I'm going to do is just mute everyone. And basically I'll unmute you guys as we start chatting, okay? Just to make it easy with the sound. Cool. We got Amy. Who else we got? We've got Cindy, Lewis, Emma, and Charlie. I think that might be all of us. There we go. That's better. Can everyone see that gallery view? Just nod your head if you can see that everyone's on the call. Yeah. Cool. Cindy, because you're using your phone, we can't see you and you can't see us, but that's fine. Or maybe you can, not quite sure. And Amy's joined us as well, which is cool. Now we've got a chat box down the side there. You should be able to see it down the bottom. We will be using that later on in the session. So yeah, just to know that it's down there. How today's going to work basically is how group coaching works is basically it's one-to-many coaching. And so what I call it is warm seat coaching. And what that means basically is someone's going to warm the seat up, which means the person who's going to speak with me one at a time. And what we're going to do is basically do a coaching call with whoever is in the warm seat, basically the person in front of the camera or who's unmuted, who's going to be talking with me. And basically it's a deep dive. We're going to help you with whatever you're going through. We'll see if we can help you get unstuck or just make some progression. And basically everyone can learn from each other. So whilst everyone's going through something different, I want you, if you're not in the warm seat, if you're not getting coaching, I want you to take some notes for someone else, all right? And if you don't have a notepad and pen, find one. If you can't find one, take some mental notes because we're gonna be kind of asking each person for your insights for each person's kind of session, if that makes sense. All right, so that way you can make it relative to you as well. And you know, one of the things that I want everyone to come in with is that curiosity, all right? Not conclusion, curiosity. We're all here to learn. So the best way that you're going to get the most out of it is one, participate. Don't be scared of asking questions. You know, that's the whole point of these coaching sessions, to make progress. And then the second thing is obviously, yeah, just literally take some notes if you're not getting coached in the moment and you're listening, you know, write down what you're learning from someone else. How can you apply what that person's going through and working on and improving on? How can you apply that in your life? Okay, it'll make a big difference. Before we get started, though, in the coaching part, basically we're just going to go around quickly in the room. We're going to share one win each. So I'm going to unmute one person at a time. I'm going to start with Lewis. I'm going to unmute you, my friend. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Tell everyone your win for the week.
My win for the past week has been traveling. So we went to Seattle from Illinois, so longer distance travel, driving with a little infant and a 7-year-old, and just going to the conference. It's an annual conference, and so that's sort of the big travel for the year, and so we did that last week.
And did you think, you know, I think beforehand you thought, oh, you were worrying about, am I going to be able to do it? Am I not going to be able to do it? Kind of thing like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I especially this year, there was a lot happening before the trip. So our son was born only like a month and a half before that.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of things going on, and so I was kind of tired, and I wasn't really up for it, and having some anxiety about it. Didn't really want to get in the car and go there. But
what does that show you now? Like, what's the learning lesson from that?
Yeah, it's actually I'm going to ask a question associated with that, but sometimes it seems like you maybe just need to push yourself a little bit to do something which in the long term might be beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. And how do you feel about your win? That you did it?
It was good. I'm glad we were able to do it, and you know, it went smoothly enough, and so it's good that we were able to do it.
Awesome, mate. Well done. Cool. We'll get back to you in the questions, yeah?
Sure.
Emma.
Yes.
Tell us your win.
So I kind of got a couple, but I'll quickly say the first one, which was, I think I've said that my mother-in-law passed away a week past Tuesday, and it's just my boyfriend. It was his birthday on Thursday, and he didn't want to celebrate, but then he changed his mind. So we went to a little hotel in Edinburgh and stayed over and had dinner and drinks and stuff. So that was it. But the big one really was yesterday, and I've discovered a phone app. I think it's probably worldwide, and it's called Too Good to Waste. And basically, it's sort of cafes and restaurants, and the waste food at the end of the day, they'll put it in a bag and sell it to you for a small cost. So yeah. I booked this on Friday, and I thought I'm going to make myself go. And I drove there, so maybe sort of 10 minutes all in drive, and sort of had to run to the place to get it before the deadline. So did all of that. So that was brilliant. But kind of the really big one for me was almost discovering how having a serious health issue can change your perspective on everything, and it shows you what's important. Because, and I have to admit, I was busy fannying around with my phone when I was driving back, and I was sitting at traffic lights, and there was quite a bit of distance between me and the car in front, and the traffic lights went to green. So I, put the car in gear, moved forward, wasn't paying attention, and slammed into the guy in front of me. And there was this almighty crash, and I thought, forgive my language, I thought, oh, fuck. And I thought, right, well, I'll just get out the car, blah, blah, blah. Fortunately, neither car was damaged. I have no idea how.
Wow.
And, they were like, what happened? And I said, oh, I'm really sorry, I sneezed, blah, blah, blah. But what the win was, apart from getting in the car, and it's freezing here at the moment, and going there, was actually, I just thought, you know what, I'm insured, even if the car was damaged, what's the worst that's going to happen? My insurance premiums will go up, blah, 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 blah. Everybody was fine, nobody was injured, nothing like that. So it was kind of a bit of a strange one, but it was just what's important in life.
And you dealt with it.
what was important was the fact that I had been well enough to get out and go out in the freezing cold. Because at the moment I'm sleeping till 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon because it's so bloody cold.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a strange one. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No,
But,
that's cool.
that was
No,
what
that's
it was.
cool. Good win. It's a big insight. So well done. That's a big insight to have, to realise, oh well, what's the worst that can happen? So that's a shift in your mindset. So that's really cool. Good stuff. All right, Charlie, tell us your win.
Probably just this whole process. So it's made a massive difference to my mindset because I've had to kind of put my money where my mouth is, if you like, which has meant that I've been clearer with other people about what I can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not been a perfect week by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
And I've done things that I wanted to do because I wanted to do them. And I've kind of factored in more self-care to enable me to do it.
Awesome. Good. That's big for you.
Yeah, massive.
Well done.
So
Smile.
it ended up, to be fair, it ended up in a bit of a pickle on Friday.
Yeah.
But that has been a learning curve because honestly, I think Tuesday was probably one of the best days I've had in 4 years.
Wow. Everyone
Yeah,
give
really.
a clap. That's awesome. Amazing. Good job. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I just realised I was the only one clapping because everyone else is muted. It was a silent clap. I'm going to unmute. We've got someone here. Who's in the middle here? I can't see your name. It says iPhone.
Is that me?
Yeah, that's you.
It's Chrissy Wallace.
Oh, Chrissy.
I couldn't get on Zoom, so I've missed the first bit, Toby.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
fine. It's just a quick introduction. So we're just basically sharing our wins, just one win, and then we're going to get into some group coaching straight after that. So, yeah, and for you, and Amy, you just joined as well. Basically, we're going to share our wins, and then we're going to do group coaching, basically where one person is in the seat. We call it the warm seat because you're going to keep the seat warm for the next person who's going to jump on. And basically, any question or anything that you want to work on, we kind of just do a quick deep dive. And the whole key is to take notes, not just for yourself, but also when you're listening to other people's changes or questions, what can you learn from it as well to apply in your own life? So, all right, Chrissy, tell us your win.
I think for me, it's doing the journal and the planner. It's sort of accountability. I've been writing in that, and it's really great to tick off what I've done. And if I haven't, it's made me more determined the next day. So for me, it's focused me on progress and doing it rather than keep putting it off and making excuses.
Amazing, isn't it funny? Like I'm exactly the same. Hands up if you did do the daily planner a little bit. Did you use it, everyone? Yeah, cool. Did anyone do it, not do it on a day? Did anyone just miss a day of doing it? Put your hand up. Yeah. Did you notice a difference between the day that you did plan and the day that you didn't plan? Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Like I'm the same, you know. And all it takes is just that little, 10 minutes the day before to kind of have a little bit of a plan that makes a difference. And like I said in the first lesson session, like even if you don't do all of your daily plan, some of it's better than none of it. And I know I have such a better fucking day if I do it. If I don't do it, I procrastinate. I don't do the stuff that actually makes me move forward in the life that I want, and so it's easy to get stuck, I think you guys might have seen that there's something to love, something to be grateful, something to love, something to do, and something to move towards, something to look forward to. Then it's like a 3-pillar kind of thing. So something to do, someone or something to love, which is basically being grateful for either yourself or a dog or your partner if you're lucky enough to have one. But if you don't, it's not a problem. You can still love yourself. And then 3 is something to look forward to. And so that's how I designed that daily planner, because it kind of gives you those 3 things. And we've just got to take time for it sometimes to have that, So that's a good one. I like that you guys are all taking notes. That's cool. Thanks, Chrissy. That was awesome. Appreciate it. Really good insight there. All right, Amy, this is Amy Lesh?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. So my win today was that I made it to a like conscious connected breath sort of meditation, kind of based on Wim Hof's breath.
Okay.
And yeah, I actually made it to the class, which was nice.
Well done.
And
Good.
after there's a little shop next door, and my brother's managed to dislocate his shoulder in a biking accident again. So he's not very happy. So I managed to go next door and buy him a little cake to try and make him feel a bit better.
Yeah, see, nice. And isn't it funny when someone else is hurt or struggling, you almost like put your energy and attention onto them, and it takes away your focus on yourself when shit's going not so good. So that's really cool too. Yeah, well done. That's awesome. And you had a massive win last week as well, which you posted in the group, which was really cool to read as well. So that's cool.
Yeah.
You're starting to make some progress, which is good to see. Cool. We'll get back to you soon anyway with the hot seat. Good stuff. Okay, Cindy, can you hear me? Oh, she's gone missing. Cindy, you there?
Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, we've got you. Tell us your win.
Okay. Well, this week I feel like I've accomplished kind of a lot for moving forward towards being more in a recovery state.
Yeah.
I finished signing our papers for a refinance on our home, which is great. So it gets funded next week.
Nice.
And I'm just really waiting for that to happen so I can cut back on my job and be able to make some more time for myself and recovering and putting this program more of a priority.
It's a fine balance between doing life and looking after yourself. But I think you're going to get it. I think for you, it's now, you know, like you said, these small wins are actually quite big wins because you're setting your environment up for the right track, you know. And everyone's environment's going to be different. Some people can't change certain things, but it's what can we do with our environment is going to make the biggest difference. And so you're changing it and making it flexible enough for you to be able to, like you said, focus on yourself, but also still work a little bit and continue to do what you're doing as well, which is cool.
Yeah, thank you. I've been going back and forth on whether or not I actually want to just move to part-time or just really walk away from this job and maybe find something a little less demanding, which I think that's what I'm leaning towards doing.
You'll figure that out in the next probably couple of weeks through this program.
Okay.
Maybe even today. We might chat about
it. Thank you.
Might get an answer by the end of the day. All right. Okay, cool. Good stuff, guys. Everyone's doing really good. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to go one by one. But like I said, I think we can all learn from each other. So let's just, like I said, just be patient, listen to each person. If you don't have a question as well, that's totally fine. So the other thing is we've got to kind of keep it precise. So we're not going to get off track. So I'm not being mean if I pull you back on track and go, hey, what's the actual question? Okay. Because it's easy. We kind of fluff around a little bit to find out what it is. So don't worry if I say to you, hey, where are we going with this? Come back. Okay. Lewis, we're going to go with you first, just because you said you had a question straight up. So yeah, shoot it. Let's go.
Yeah. So just the question is about finding that fine balance. I have sort of like times where I guess I suppose I feel like I tend to be more outgoing. I try to be more social, and that has its benefits. But then over a longer term, it seems like maybe it's, you know, if I might be doing a little bit too much, and then I actually, you know, go backwards in my recovery. But then sometimes I correct and sort of just end up staying at home much more than I probably should be. So how, you know, is it kind of like just sort of listening to your body, waiting for it to tell you, okay, today is a good day to go outside, or maybe it's more about pushing to get out?
Well, it's a fine balance. So you've got a perfect example of when you need to get past your fears, which was when you went to your conference last week.
Yeah.
Right. That's a perfect example of you not pushing yourself. It's more pushing yourself outside of what you think is capable right now, but it's not like hammering your body or doing something stupid. Okay. And obviously you can do what's appropriate and rest and stuff. I think what you're talking about is it's like introvert, extrovert, like, yeah, is that kind of right? Like,
so that can be that, but in the past, I would go to the gym maybe twice a week, and I would feel a little bit better, and so I would do 3 times, maybe 4 times. I would do slowly and gradually more, but then within a month or 2 months, I start to realize like, oh, this is not benefiting me. Like I'm actually doing too much, and so finding that balance is. And it has a long time frame, because I make a change today and within a month or 2 months, I sort of realize, oh, well, the last 2 months haven't exactly, like I've been doing a bit too much. And so,
yes.
So
you've got to factor in all of life, okay, in terms of progressing. You've got 2 kids, by the way, and you've just recently had one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that throws a whole nother spanner into the works. So when you're factoring in like exercise and gym and all that kind of stuff, factor in like, oh shit, I had a pretty bad week last week. I'd barely slept. My kid's been sick. I haven't had the routine that I like. So still do stuff, but just don't do it to the extent that you would normally do. And when you're talking about those extremes of either doing too much or doing too little, it's like plan the rest days. Like plan, all right, on Wednesday, I'm not going to train, or I'm not going to do any movement. I might just do stretching, or I might have 2 days in a row. Like for me, for any of you guys don't know, I surf a lot, and surfing's exhausting. And so I've surfed 4 days in a row, and I've hammered my body. And like yesterday, I felt it. I was like, oh man, I just need a full day off, no training. Got myself a massage. Today, I'll probably just do some light stretching and chill out. And then tomorrow I'll probably get back into the surf, So you've got to be smart, like the way I look at it is like athletes, like they never train at 100% when they're in season.
Yeah.
Treat it like you're in season.
Yeah, the odd thing is I'll have a day where my body is sort of giving me the signal, hey, today is okay, you can go ahead and go for your run, or let's run an extra 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the next day, the body is like, no, that was too much. And so that can be a daily sort of thing, but it can also be, say, over a period of a month. And so you have a good period, and then it sort of slows down. And
what I would like you to do is focus the next month on being quite strict and consistent with your exercise, rather than doing it based on feeling. Do it based on what's appropriate for you right now. Even if you feel really good, don't do the extra 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Be consistent. So it's hard, but like be proud of that. So basically do your run or whatever it is that you do, whether it's gym or running or yoga or whatever, do what you know is appropriate. And then, there'll be that, oh, I feel pretty damn good today. And it's like, oh, I'm done anyway. So I'm just going to go and enjoy my time with my kids.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I'd like to see what that does for you over the next kind of month.
Yeah. I need to move towards that, because before I became ill, I was very much active. And so to relieve stress, I would be active basically.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, mix in, say, meditation or other recovery sort of stuff, to sort of be content, I suppose, at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I think for you, it's just staying in that appropriate bracket, and it's okay to have those couple of days off. It's like, like I do with my surfing, it's okay to push yourself when you feel like it, but just don't overextend it. And I think doing it based off feeling sometimes isn't the smartest thing. It's like, I wear a watch in the surf now because I can go for hours without doing it. But I know for me, 45 minutes to an hour is a really good surf, and I know I don't feel sore the next day. But if I go beyond that, then my pecs get really tight. I feel shitty. My hamstrings are tight. Like it's just, so it's about figuring out your balance.
Yeah.
you know, and just stay within that, just give it a couple of months and enjoy it. And you'll notice that, you know, in the program, I think it's module 4, I talk about progression. I talk about 5 to 10% progression, not an extra 30-minute run, but maybe 3 minutes or 4 minutes, just adding on slowly, building up slowly. And you'll find that will make the biggest difference. You know, it's like you know, exercise progression. If you Google, you know, weight training and progression, you should, most books will say 5 to 10%. But no one does it these days because we all want it quick, you know, and we
yeah. Yeah, because you might be having a bad day, but, you know, in the sense that you're emotionally maybe feeling, you know, bad about something, but then you feel like, oh, I want to run an extra 30 minutes. The sun, you know, the sun is so nice outside, but then the next day there's some payback.
Exactly. So run to the point of what's appropriate for you, and then tan outside instead of keep running in the nice day.
Sounds like a good idea.
Cool. Good man. Cool. Everyone kind of taken some mental notes. I think we can make that appropriate for all of us. You know, that's really perfect, because it's a fine balance, and there's no perfect answer, but it's really about staying within your what you know is not what you know works for you. You know, and if we go back to lesson session 1, it's what's working for us and what's not working for us. And I think, Lewis, you know, what's not working for you is that, like, basing it off how you feel, you know, and going further on the days, you know, but probably not factoring like, oh, okay, well, it's probably not that appropriate, you know. And eventually when you do feel up to it, then you can do more, but just do it more appropriately, you know, but, you know, slower segmental kind of increments. Okay, we're going to go, put your hand up if you want to go next. Charlie.
What?
You're right.
That was random. Okay.
That was a trick question.
I don't know. I hadn't really thought about a question, but since as I'm here, maybe my question might be about nutrition, and it feels like a bit of I don't know what the words are. I'm quite tired, so I'm not very articulate. So my understanding, having done lots of reading and whatnot, is that if I eat things like gluten and dairy and sugar and blah and all that kind of stuff, then they're inflammatory foods, and therefore if I want my body to heal, then the best thing that I should do is to not eat them.
Right.
But then that becomes very difficult because I'm human. I don't really like bread and things like that. But I just suppose, I know, you know, what do people that are healthy, so like you, for example, or other people that have recovered, kind of, did you do it by not eating gluten and not eating dairy, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, good question. So, just thinking how can, so the thing is, like, everyone's different, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, I had a girl once who recovered, and she used to drink Coke and eat McDonald's. And I couldn't believe it. Her mum used to buy her McDonald's every week, you know, twice a week, and drink Coke and all that. And she'd eat a little bit healthy, but pretty bad. And she did my program years ago, and she recovered. So it just goes to show that, you know, for some people, it's not necessarily it. But for me personally, I know that if I eat shit for 3 days straight, then I feel like crap. So I can get away with it. I can eat my breads, I can eat chocolate and all that kind of stuff. But I know after 3 days, I need to get back onto my bone broths. I need to get back onto that whole kind of, you know, whole food diet, basically. And I just feel so much better. So, so my answer to that is that, you know, I like the fact that I can eat a little bit of crap here and there. Like, I think it's important, because I think if you don't, your body gets more sensitive to it when you do eat it, you know.
Yeah.
And also you've got to factor in the stress of it, guys. So if you're stressing about nutrition and you're like, oh my God, I can't eat that and I can't eat that, and all you eat is healthy but you're stressed about it, that's actually worse than probably just eating the chocolate cake and enjoying your life. And I've noticed that with myself. I've gone through those periods where I'm like fucking so stressed about food and just like so like specific. And then, you know, all I need to do is eat a Big Mac from McDonald's and just chill out and not worry about it. And when I do that, I'm like, oh, I feel fine. So I'm not saying go and eat a Big Mac. What I'm saying is, as long as you just eat healthy, eat what you know works for you. Like, I know that I'm much better when I have a heavier meal in the mornings and a heavier meal at lunch and a lighter meal at dinner. It just works for me. If I have a heavy meal at dinner, I don't sleep as good. So, you know, if that means that you've got the family and you're cooking and you've got a big heavy meal, eat half of what you normally would, you know, at night. Or save it for lunch and have the heavy meal at lunch. So in terms of gluten stuff, I go through phases. I won't have bread for like a month or two, just because I know it's not what I need. And you'll tell with your gut, you know, if you can eat it and you feel fine, then it's not a problem. But if you eat it and you notice it's affecting you, then it's just like, all right, we'll just don't do it. So that's really what it comes down to. If you're worried about it, you can get tests. I know a great girl who does tests. She can do it from anywhere in the world. And basically that test whether you are gluten intolerant, whether you're lactose intolerant, if your gut's got some major issues where you're waking up with pain or you've got symptomatic kind of feeling within your gut, then it would be worth getting a gut test just to see what's going on, you know. If you're constipated, if you've got diarrhea, if these are and this is for everybody, if this is a recurring issue for you and you do have consistent constipation or consistent diarrhea, then it's something that I'd look for. But there's a couple of things that you can fix before you even go down that track, which was hydration, especially in the mornings to get your bowels going. Movement. If you're not moving, your body doesn't move the stuff that's inside you. So movement helps flush out your system. And then obviously, you know, having a calm nervous system, so just being a bit more relaxed. And they're the three kind of keys to get your digestive system working. But again, there's no perfect, you know, like even healthy people don't have healthy shit all the time. And it's a topic that some people don't want to talk about, but like having consistency in your toilet abilities is pretty important. You know, and so everyone's different. But yeah, if gut health's an issue for you, let me know. And I'll put you in contact with someone who can do some tests for you and help you as well. So, yeah. But again, with gluten and dairy and all that, personally, I don't like it that much, especially the dairy side of things in milk. But I'll have cheese or butter as long as it's organic or healthy, you know. But it's all, is it working for you, you know? Because I know a lot of people who thrive off dairy, who thrive off just, you know, my best friend literally eats gluten all day long, white bread, cakes, all that. And if I gave him a healthy meal, he wouldn't function as good. It's just his body.
I guess it's just, you know, I will just do the best I can when I can do it and then not give myself a hard time when it doesn't happen, I suppose.
Well, I think so. And it sounds like it doesn't totally affect you. So, you know.
Sometimes I think it makes a massive difference. And then, I mean, maybe I'm less intolerant to it now than I used to be. So maybe I can get away with it more, but.
Good, which is.
I don't know.
Yeah. And same with me. Like I can eat a lot more of whatever I want. But I just know within myself after a couple of days of that, then it's like, all right, get back on the healthy train. Literally started boiling a bone broth this morning at 5 a.m.
I'm sick of bone broth.
Doing my head in. And that's a sign. If you're sick of it, don't keep forcing yourself to have shit that is healthy for you that you don't want to do, because that's not healthy either.
Yeah.
So start eating what you want to do. Give yourself that permission to do that. I think you'll notice a big difference. Test that out this week.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Perfect lesson, guys. Like, don't force yourself to have something if you don't want to have it. It just doesn't work. It never works. Yeah, I've just noticed that. All right, we're going to go Chrissy. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
What's your question?
I'm not really,
if you've got one.
I'm not really sure about one. No, I'm just struggling generally with sort of like family responsibility commitments and trying to stick to my rest time and my care plan and self-care. There's a lot of issues going on in the home, so I find that's really difficult to try and put myself first without feeling selfish and that I'm letting down the family. And to try to set clear, healthy boundaries. I'm getting better at it, but that's the thing I found most difficult about recovery, because when I can rest, like when my husband's off work for a day or two, I notice a massive difference. But I'm kind of a single parent, a 16-year-old
Yeah, I know your situation.
People. But that's what I find the most difficult, you know, being able to try these things and stick at it and like build up gradually. And I really want to sort of go back to kind of baseline, strip it back simple and build in, but that's really difficult for me. So I guess I would ask how where would you start if you were in a similar situation?
Tell me, what's the problem? Is it doing what you know works, or is it feeling okay about doing it while you set boundaries with your son?
I think it's literally time, because the school ring nearly every day, ringing all the while. And I think I have got self-discipline, and I think I do know enough about boundary setting. Guilt was a massive issue before I started the programme. I felt I was really selfish, letting everybody down, ruin everybody's life, and it wasn't their fault I was sick. But I really feel now that if I don't look after myself, I can't care for them. Exactly. But you can't tell a 16-year-old autistic kid whose dad's not around and who's got nobody else. And it's difficult when the school and these hospital appointments. It sounds like excuses, but I genuinely feel that
no, it's not.
I do this huge.
It's not. You're here. You're here on this call. You know, you're not going to be here on this call. That's not an excuse. You've got real life stuff going on. So this is cool. So there's two things. The guilt and the shame that comes with setting boundaries is normal to experience to start with. And it feels yuck. You know, when we say no to a friend or no to a partner or no, I've got my time, it's an uncomfortable feeling, but that's a good sign. That's an appropriate thing. It's because you're empathetic and super compassionate. You know, most people who, you know, I know a lot of people who aren't empathetic and aren't compassionate like all of us, and they don't give a fuck. They just do whatever they want. You know, it's just not a problem for them. Whereas us, we're more sensitive people. We go, oh, like, what are you going to think if I say this? And how am I going to say this properly? So it's normal. So keep setting those boundaries. And over time, as you already mentioned, it gets better. You know, it gets easier. It's not as hard. And you realize that, oh, actually, self-care isn't a luxury. Self-care is just a mandatory thing that I need to do in order for me to function. And I was going to say to Lewis before what he was talking about a bit of that extroversion and introversion thing. It's like, it's awesome to be extroverted and go out and do all that, but it's also okay to have the balance of being introverted and having your own time. You know?
Yeah, I find that like this last 2 weeks, I've cancelled everything for me, like social commitment with friends, my own appointments, so I can do things for people. I know that's wrong. But again, it's sort of not worrying so much about other people, trusting that I'm not responsible for them, to them. I don't know. I think I need to do. It's just really hard. If I had a big support network, it would be a lot easier. And if my son did and my parents did, but I feel overwhelmed and pressured. But I hear what you're saying. I'll keep working at it, and that's where the journal and planner helps, because I can prioritise what is important to me each day. And if I don't do it, I follow it on. But at least it keeps me focused rather than getting distracted, and I'm ready to say no more easily.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I also think the second part of this for you is, you know, like you're right, like life is got a few different things outside of you that it's not in your total control. So what we can do, and you're really aware of, like, you need to look after yourself as well. So it's like, okay, well, what are 2 things I can do each day? And they can be...
I have to try getting outdoors or going to walk, which is really big for me because I've not ever done, but I have been making only once or twice a week, but it's a start.
It's a start, better than nothing, you know. And also, I'm thinking like smaller things for you. I'm not thinking. I'm thinking like, what are 2 things definitively that you know that if you do them every day, it'll be great for you. And it might be just 5 minutes of nostril breathing. You know, it might be writing down what you're grateful for and really feeling that and closing your eyes and just giving yourself that 5 minutes. Sounds nuts, but it's like, so much
No,
better than nothing. And
Yeah.
I feel like you need that. Like, you just need that, you know, and that's going to give you more empowerment as well. Even if it's just 5 minutes of like writing down how amazing you are, write yourself a letter, you know, like just things like that. Like I do that sometimes, you know, not regularly, but when I do it, I write myself a letter and I'm like, I'll just say whatever I'm going through at the time, it's like someone's writing it for me. Toby, you're doing an amazing, you know, you've got a lot of shit going on right now, so you just need to chill out. Make sure you go to bed early. Make sure you look after yourself. And did you forget how amazing you are?
Yeah. No, thank you. That's really valuable because I stress and worry a lot, and that will keep me focused. And you're right, it's the meditation side and taking time out for things that I enjoy. And if I start small, achievable things like 5 minutes a day and trying to put in 20 minutes or an hour, I've been trying to focus on reading, getting outdoors, walking. But yeah, to start with those simple things that will take my mind away from worrying about everyone else and everything I've got to do.
I think two small things. I wasn't talking about two big things. I'm talking about two. Keep doing the walks and the reading and all that when you can. If it's twice or 3 days a week. And I feel like doing the two small things a day will build the momentum for you to go, fuck it, I'm just going to go read now, or, you know, I've got a spare half an hour here, so I'm going to do that. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Toby. Yeah.
Well done. It's good stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty simple with those boundary settings, you know, like it's never comfortable initially, and it just gets better, but also that's a perfect example of we don't need to do all the big things, you know. It could just be laying down and elevating your legs against a wall for 5 minutes, or writing yourself a letter, or doing sweet F all on the couch for half an hour with no phone, nothing around you, you know. I'm going to go to Amy, then Emma, and then Cindy. We're going to finish with you last, so hold tight. Amy.
Hi.
What's your question?
So the one we just had kind of touched on my first question. So it's sort of been answered, really. It's nice to know it gets easier. And I've tried by sort of setting people's expectations prior to meeting them.
That's
well,
good.
sort of
That's a nice insight. I like that. Yeah, just like, hey, this is where I'm at. You know, this is what you can expect. This is what you can't expect. I do that with people who join this program and even the other programs. You know, you've got to set the boundary right first. You know, because then they know, and you know, this is where we're at. There's no pressure either way.
Yeah, and I know that my sort of worrying about whether people are getting bored or fed up while I have a rest, like it happened in Madrid while we went around a gallery because I needed lots of rest. And he's a really good friend, and I know he completely understands, and he's very allowing. He's like, do what you need to do, it's fine. I'll just sit here and do something else.
Cool.
But even as someone that is like that, I know it's sort of deep down, it's from a fear of losing friends or losing that person, because I've pretty much lost everyone apart from 2 people. But that just shows who's willing to stand by you. That's
right. And also, but this is good for you because in order for you to have friends, you need to be okay with not having them and letting go of that fear, because that fear will almost keep that resistance away from people.
Yeah.
This is a really good one to work with Gemma Hanley on. You guys have got a workshop with her next week. You need to ask this question. And I was about to bring her up because she went through the same thing, and because there's this certain uncertainty or uncomfortability when you have to just do what is required, and especially if you've got that fear of losing that friend or upsetting that person or wondering what they're thinking. There's not conviction and clarity when you say, like, oh, hey, I just need to go rest. Like, oh, hey, is it all right if I just have a rest for a little bit? You know, it doesn't feel good when you have to ask for that stuff. And Gemma was very similar until she kind of switched it around and was like, I don't know, she just felt so empowered by just saying, like, oh, hey, I just need to go and meditate for 20 minutes. Or, hey, I'm feeling really tired right now, so I just need to go take my time out. And she just did that and did that and did that. And to the point where it was like, she was just doing her, and you had no other option but to totally respect her and go, shit, that's cool. So I want you to start doing that for yourself, like almost like it's cool to do what you're doing to look after yourself. and being empowered about that.
Yeah, because I know ultimately it's going to help, but it's trying to have that rest and not have that, I suppose, anxiety, because then it's just not as restorative.
Exactly. You're almost better off not resting and just living, just doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's just as exhausting stressing about it. So what can you do? What can you do now? What would work better for you when you are in that situation again?
I think it's just having more, maybe not I don't know, maybe it is more self-confidence, the sense of more self-love or self-worth, and just saying, you know what, I need to do this. I'm going to do it anyway, regardless of what you think.
Yeah, and maybe it's just okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just okay. Yeah. And also, I think we'll all agree on this one. No one ever really thinks about other people. They're always thinking of themselves anyway. You know, no, as much as your situation is important, people on the outside don't really. They're not in your skin, so they don't know how important it is to you. And we're always, we always worry about ourselves. What others think, but they're just thinking about themselves anyway. And like you said before, it's about the people who are staying in your life, not about the people who aren't. And they did you a favor by not being in your life.
Yeah, definitely.
You can thank them, and it's funny. You'll get pickier, and you'll get closer friends, and you'll realize that you won't need as many people in your life to listen to the quality.
No, it's not about quantity. It's about enjoying the time that you have with a person and whether you feel uplifted after spending time with them.
Yeah, I said to a friend yesterday, I said, is this person adding value to your life, or are they not? That's a really good way of looking at it. Is this whether person, thing, food, cafe, is it adding value, or is it and yeah, it sounds like you're getting to know that answer pretty intuitively. Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah. Keep
it up, and that's going to be your sign of progress over the next month, is just honouring yourself and being okay with it and feeling good about it. And then getting up from that and telling yourself, all right, that was good, what am I going to do now? So you're not just resting for the sake of resting, you're resting for the sake of progressing. Yeah. Switch that thinking around on it and going, it's a positive thing, and it's actually helping you even make further progress, which you already are, which is cool. Keep seeing that evidence.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Emma.
Yeah. I know, I'm sorry. I'm part French, what can I say?
What were you going to ask?
Yeah, so I was just going to ask, Chelsea has said that she doesn't think she can make the call, but she asked, are you going to come to her questions, Toby?
Well, is it your question as well? Because I saw that too.
Yes and no. So the questions that she asked, I'd like to know the answer to, is what I'm trying to say.
What's your question?
But it wasn't my question. Well, I asked my question. Sorry. That's a TED teacher look. Right, so my question is, it's kind of similar to what Lewis was saying. So he sort of used to be extroverted and all the rest of it, and I'm an extrovert, and I love going out, love being social. But since I've been ill, I've almost become a recluse, and there's an element of like laziness, and I just can't be bothered in that. And I think there's also the fear that anything I do is going to make me worse. And also now it's winter in Scotland, it's freezing here. So how can I get a bit of the extrovertedness back, and how can I stop being so effing lazy as well?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say you're lazy. I just think your sleep's really out of whack. I know you, and that's something that you need to really pull back on and fix. And that's part of Chelsea's question as well. So we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
as I said to Lewis, and this is something that I'm a massive extrovert too, but as I've gotten older, I realise I just need as much downtime as I need uptime.
Yeah.
So I think you're getting the downtime, but I think you're probably not enjoying the downtime because you're not having the uptime. So you're kind of just feeling stuck about it. So what I would like you to do is a bit similar to Amy with the friend part, but just more with you with this up and down time, is like enjoying the downtime and really soaking it up and soaking it in and just going like, oh, like this is what I need. And it might take you 30 minutes to relax into that. I know for me, I hate sitting still. I hate kind of slowing down. But once I finally get into that groove, I feel so much better and so good in that downtime. So, you know, I'd say soak that up a bit more and enjoy it a little bit more and embrace it. And I think also helping with your sleep will make a massive difference to how you feel.
Yeah.
And I also think in terms of the uptime, it's like, you know, you went out last week in the car, you know, and did what you did. And so it's like, and that was awesome for you. And so it's like, all right, well, how can I just like, even for you, it might be just little things like going to a cafe or just like sitting in a park and like, you know, you're the type of person that can talk to anybody. So it's like, say hello to a stranger, like, you know, have a chat and just like, you might just get those little fixes. I know for me, I go to my local coffee shop every morning and I have a chat to the baristas and a quick 5 minutes. Yeah. And that's good for me. You know, so just look at those little things. What can I do to get out and enjoy my, you know, I call uptime, and just do it a bit appropriately and enjoy it. But then go, all right, cool, that's awesome. I'm going to go and do, you know, some stuff.
Yeah, I think this is where the accountability is going to help me, because I love my own company, so I can quite easily spend like a whole week in my own company. But I know that that's not really great. And it's not helping me recover because it's not pushing me, you know, physically and mentally. Okay, right, cool.
So
Thank
guys,
you.
we all need a structure that helps us get out of a routine that helps us get out of our own heads and our own kind of self-sabotage. And that's why, you know, these calls are good to jump on and get you out of your routine. That's why, you know, having set things, even if you don't actually like them, are good for you in a way, you know. The ones who have got kids in this call know exactly what I mean. You know, you've got to get up. You know, is that right, Lewis and Charlie? Like, you've just got to get up. And Chrissy, you know, like it's as hard as it is. It's like it's kind of as hard as it is. It's actually really beneficial for you, even though you don't enjoy it. Mm-hmm. You know, some of the time when you're just like, oh, I've got to get up out of bed. You know, when it's hard and it's like shit. But if you didn't have that, then it's like, you know, when you don't have anything to get you up out of bed, it's pretty hard to get out of bed when you feel like crap.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm saying. So it's like find things that help you get out of bed in the morning and almost make them non-negotiable. But again, as I said with Lewis, like give yourself permission to have that day off if you need it too. So let's not be black and white. Let's just like have a little bit of a plan and a loose structure and routine to get you up and going. But I think for you, it's gonna take a little while with you knocking back your sleep times.
Yeah.
So just be a bit more mindful of that. I'll answer Chelsea's question right now. So she asks, this is for Chelsea and everyone. This is really good. Is it a good idea to sleep at odd hours during the day if I didn't sleep well the night before? What is the preferable getting the most rest or keeping the schedule routine? So question 1, I answered that in lesson session 1. So go back over that lesson session because there's some really helpful advice around sleep routine. But basically, 2 things. If you're at a level where you're exhausted and you're still trying to build up your daily routine and you need to have a sleep during the day consistently, that's totally fine. I recommend sleeping between the hours of 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Now, I'm not saying sleep for that whole time. I'm just saying if you need a daytime nap, it's between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., meaning that you wake up and you get out of bed after 2 p.m., 2:30 max. Why do we do that? Because if you sleep longer during the day, it tricks your brain to thinking that was your nighttime sleep, and then you're going to be awake at 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. You know, or if you're a better sleeper at night, even if you do that, you'll notice that you'll wake up at 3 a.m. because you've already had 2 hours or 3 hours sleep during the day, okay? But this is on one exception. If you have a virus, a flu, or a cold, or, whatever, you've had a bug, you've got something on top of what you're going through, sleep all day. What I mean by sleep all day is if you're asleep, you need to be asleep. Okay, there's a reason why you're exhausted and you're tired. And so just remember, healthy people get sick. I had a friend who was sick for 3 days straight last week, and he's one of the healthiest guys I know. But he literally slept. He slept for 3 days straight. 14, 15 hours a day because he was exhausted. Now he's feeling a bit better now. So to answer my question is yes, you can sleep during the day, but sleep between the hours of 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Now, if you want to start making progress and you want to start sleeping better, at night, then what I suggest you doing is start to decrease your daytime sleep. So if you're sleeping 2 hours every single day, and try and do it at a regular time, knock it down to an hour and 45 minutes, knock it down to an hour and 30 minutes, knock it down to an hour. And over time, you'll notice that your nighttime sleep will get better. You should be getting to bed earlier at night because you're not sleeping as much during the day. Now, you can either do this really radically. You can do it like, imagine that you were coming to a clinic and I said, all right, you've got to go to bed at 9 p.m. every night. We're waking you up at 8 a.m. in the morning or 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to keep you awake from 7 till about 12. You're allowed to go to bed from 12 till 1. Then I'm going to get you up. I'm going to force you to stay awake until 9 p.m. again. That's a radical way of doing it, but it can work. The other way is, like I said before, Emma, just slowly decrease your daytime sleep and just force yourself to stay awake. And I find just doing a bit of restorative movement, some stretches, things like that can be really helpful just to kind of, help you figure out that sleep routine. The other thing that's really helpful, having breakfast, lunch and dinner at the same time every day.
Mm-hmm. Like an anchor.
Yeah, if you're sleeping, if you're sleeping a lot during the day, still wake up at 7 or 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., have something to eat. Then wake back up at 1 p.m., have something to eat. Then wake back up at 7 p.m. and have something to eat. That way you're telling your body it should be awake and this is breakfast, lunch and dinner time. I've done this with a few clients who were really, really bad many years ago when I worked with them, and it really, really helped him. He was bad, had to force him to wake up at those times.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing so well now, and so one of the things that helped him the most was those regular breakfast times.
Cool.
Yeah. Second question, for bedbound or housebound days, how can I keep the sense of a schedule even if I'm not doing much at all? What are some good things to put on my to-do list for the days? So a bit similar to what I said with Chrissy, even though her situation is different, it still really applies. Pick the small things that you can do each day. They don't have to be big. They can be listening to a bit of music. Like literally, like if the scheduling is a problem for you, like write on a piece of paper, at 10 a.m. I'm going to listen to so-and-so for 30 minutes. At 1 p.m. I'm going to have my lunch. At 2 p.m. I'm going to have a little lay down and rest, not sleep, rest. It's okay to rest in the afternoon, by the way. I'm just talking about that sleep schedule before. At 4 p.m. I am going to play the piano for 3 minutes. Whatever it is for you, okay? It's just finding those little things that you can spread out in the day to do. And I think that's really helpful. Unless, like I said before, if you've got a cold or a flu and you just need to have a complete week off, and just potter around and do what you can do in that time. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And I think that'll be helpful for you as well, Em.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment I'm sleeping till sort of 2 p.m. and I have to really drag myself out of bed. But if I don't do that, I know I will be up all night and it'll be 11 a.m. the next day before I can get to sleep.
Exactly.
But I'm maybe sleeping a little bit less. But yeah, at the moment it's about 2 p.m. when I get up.
You're going to have to set that alarm.
I know that'll improve.
You're going to have to set that the alarm, and you need to remind yourself you've gotten healthy before, so you can do it again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've got it in you. So you just need to be a bit more disciplined with those timings.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it doesn't feel good all the time. Like,
No.
Healthy people don't wake up and feel fresh and want to bounce off the walls. It's just, You just got to realise that I think what happens is when you've been struggling for so long, you think that there's some perfect outside out there. And when you get there, you realise it's not perfect anyway.
You kind of forget. You forget what life before was like in a way.
Exactly.
And because I'm off sick and I'm going to, I'm not going back to work. This is it for me. There's no structure in place now. I don't have any responsibilities.
Forced routine is very important. So I look at something down the line of volunteering. I look at something like starting your own little online business or crafts or arts and that's why it's hard when you are on your own, you don't have anything to get you up out of bed. It's having those things in place to do. So for all the guys who are listening who need that, like start literally at the timelines of 9 a.m., 10 a.m., so and so, is have something in each hour. And that hour can mean have nothing to do. You can say do nothing for that hour, but that's better than not having anything in there because you can start ticking them off, which is really cool. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Cindy, well done, guys. This is our last one. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for being so patient, the last person. And you've been on the phone, so you can't even see our faces.
No worries. No worries. Thank you. I guess my question is that I'm having a lot of pain in my legs. I don't know if I should even, if I should be staying off of them. Like, I'm having a lot of muscle cramping, and I just can't seem to, stand for a long time or walk, and I'm getting a lot of pain in my calves when I'm on my feet, and even when I'm laying down, I'm still having pain. So, I don't really know what the right thing to do is at this point with just, being up and on my feet or not.
Okay. So, again, it kind of goes back to Lewis's kind of question. I don't know if you heard that, but basically find that balance between enough and not enough. And so for you, it's normal that you're going to start feeling like leg pain at the moment, and rather than do nothing at all, and when you stand for long periods of time, that's when you feel it. So just give yourself those little breaks in between before you get to that stage of it feeling unbearable for you.
Okay.
So that might mean, standing for a little bit and then sitting down for a little bit. It might mean stretching your calf muscles out. I don't know if you've seen Module 3. Have you seen Module 3 yet with the stretches?
Not yet.
Okay. I'd like you to check them out because I think that'll really help you.
Okay.
Module 3 stretches. It's about 12 minutes long. You don't have to do all of it. You can just literally pick the leg exercises and just do a little bit. And again, with everyone's tolerance to stretching is different. So don't overstretch, just do a little bit. I know one thing that can be really helpful, which I think I might have mentioned to you when you first joined, was elevating your legs against a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Have you tried that?
Yes, I have done that.
Does it help?
I've done that. It does help a little bit. I just can't seem to find any kind of long-term relief. I've taken ibuprofen, that doesn't work. I've taken baths. I've done heating and icing. I've done leg elevation. I just can't seem to find anything. I don't know, this kind of has all happened pretty severely within the past few weeks, and I haven't even I just haven't had a break with my legs.
Yeah, but you haven't had a break with your life,
That's true.
Your legs are just a good sign to say to you, slow down. That's what it's saying. I need stability. It sounds a bit nuts, but that's really the call out in that symptom there, is saying I need stability. And you're making these decisions, you're making these changes now, which is good. So there's nothing that's going to, what's the word? And this is what I tell with everyone. You can't focus on symptoms to fix symptoms. However, you can do things to relieve, whatever you're going through. We've got a comment here from Amy. She said, magnesium spray helps me with leg pain and Epsom salt baths as well. And so all these little tips like elevating your legs, magnesium spray, Epsom salt bath, self-massage on your quads, Emma, you can comment if you want, if you've got something on the chat box. There's all these little tips that you can apply. But just know that like not one of them's the answer to get rid of it, and you don't want to have that mindset of I need to get rid of this leg pain or these aches and pains. It's all right. What can I do? Which is what you're doing anyway, Cindy. Which is what can I do to stabilize myself and then make progress? Because as you build strength and stamina in your legs again and recondition them without pushing yourself, and initially it's just going to be that restorative relief from stretches and maybe magnesium spray and Epsom salt bath, things like that will help the most. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Have you got any other questions?
I do have one other. So I know we're kind of talking a little bit about sleeping and oversleeping, but I find that my problem lately is I can't stay asleep at all. I've been waking up at 3:30 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and staying up the whole entire day until the next night, and then I crash at like 8:30, and then same routine. I just cannot stay asleep, and even when I am sleeping for like those 5 to 7 hours, it's like I'm constantly waking up and trying to go back to sleep over and over.
Yeah, that's normal. So this is a stage of what people go through. And so for you, we need to calm down your nervous system. So getting off social media at night time, getting off screen time. I know it sounds so basic and so simple, but anything, because it all arouses your system. Switch your phone onto airplane mode. Okay. Read some relaxing books. Don't watch TV. Write in your journal. Like, I know this sounds so basic and so simple, but trust me, it works if you do it.
Okay.
Self-soothing is really important. So when you're going through this, because what happens is, and probably everyone knows this pattern, we've all been through it, where we wake up in the middle of the night and we go, shit, I can't get back to sleep now. And then you start to panic about it, and then you freak out, and then you're like, fuck, I need to go to bed, but I can't. And then you can't go to sleep, and then you're laying in bed and you're restless and you're more all over the place. So what's really important with this is self-soothing. And what I mean by that is, I think I did it last night. I can't remember. I'm pretty good at these days, but I woke up probably at 2 a.m. or something. And initially my thought process would be like, oh shit, I need to go back to bed. But as soon as my mind does that, I go, no, it's okay. I'm going to fall back asleep. And I just like kind of self-soothe, and I mentally talk to myself without even talking. You can do it out loud though. That can be helpful for some people, is that self-soothe talk. So nice and slow, like, no, like baby yourself back to bed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, because I do feel like I freak myself out when I wake up, because I still have to like get up and go to work by 8 a.m. So it's like when I wake up at 4, I start freaking out, and then like I'm up that whole morning, and then I have to go to work for 9 hours, and then I'm like dead.
And this is why you're feeling like crap, and this is why your leg pain's so bad at the moment. So trust me, this will get better. Self-soothe. Write that down, and just so because your brain's automatically going to freak out. It's normal. Okay, your brain's going to go, fuck, it protects the threat. It's shit, can't sleep. So as soon as your brain does that, as soon as you catch it, I want you to catch it and go, nah, that's just my brain being silly. That's all right. I'm going to fall back asleep. And even if you don't fall back asleep, you can just self-soothe yourself to be more relaxed in bed, even when you're awake, and that is brilliant anyway.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, self-soothing is really important. It's something that we can all do. Even during the day, we probably need to self-soothe as well. But I definitely know at night time, when we wake up in the middle of the night, that self-soothe, nice, calm, speak to you. It's like you're speaking to a baby. All right, just really calmly, like, yep, that's all right. Just you're gonna go back to sleep. Brain's shutting off again, and I'm gonna fall back asleep and be fine. Can everyone just type in your insights from today in the comments? Just quickly, like a couple of just really brief insights just from today, and then we'll finish up. Thanks, Cindy. That was good.
Thank you.
Amy says, Insight Timer app has meditations to help for sleep, insomnia, stress relaxation. Cool. So just type it in. I'm going to come back once. You guys can read the comments as well. So just type in the chat box what you learned. I'll be back in 1 second. All right, what do we got here? Doing some of my plan is better than nothing. Rest to progress. Need to see my rest as helpful again rather than feeling fed up. Yes, much better. Good. Sleep aids, magnesium, help me with leg pain. Plus, it does eventually go away. I had it too. There you go, Cindy. That's a perfect comment for you. I'll read that out just in case you can't read the comments on your phone. So Emma said, yeah, it does eventually go away. She had it too. Stay within my bracket of ability, progressing steadily at appropriate increments. Good. I think you'll do well at that now, Lewis, now that you've kind of got that in concrete. Plan rest days. Don't do more than I usually would, even if it's a good day. Charlie says, keep it simple. Keeping it simple. Try not to overthink everything. Self-care makes a lot of sense. Treat ourselves like we would our best friends. Exactly. Yeah. Do something every hour. Yeah. Good. Healthy people get sick too. I think that's a good realization to have. So we're not like stressing out about ourselves all the time as well. Guys, that was really good. I feel like it was a pretty long session as well. I'm totally open to feedback too. So if you have any suggestions for me, feel free to email me and just let me know what you found worked today and maybe what I could do better. I'm totally open to that. Or if you feel like something could have been a bit faster or slower, or totally open to any kind of suggestions that you guys have as well. And I just want to say as well, I'm really proud of you guys for just making these tiny little changes, because over time they do make the biggest difference. And I know a lot of them seem really simple, but what I do want to say is that you guys are all here and you're being accountable. And Chrissy said it before. She said something like, I'm not making excuses. And it's like, no, of course you're not. You're bloody here on a phone call. If you were making excuses, you wouldn't be here. So I just want that self-acknowledgement to yourselves, to know that, you know what, I'm doing what I can, and feeling empowered about that, taking that with you. All right. Like I said, open to feedback. So send me an email to let me know how you found today's call. You don't have to do it right now, obviously, but tomorrow would be great. And like I said, you guys have got your workshop with Gemma Hanley next week. So please do try and make that session. If you have any mindset questions, I might do a little comment space in the group early next week. So, if you can't make the call, I'd love you to get those questions answered, because she's really brilliant. Yeah, cool. Any questions? Just put your hand up before we go. Anyone got any questions? You're good. Any comments? No? Oh, hold on. We got one. Hey, Chrissy.
I'm only on my iPhone because I couldn't set up Zoom on my laptop, and I can't put comments on. So I'm afraid I'm not very tech savvy, so I might need a bit of help.
That's all right. Yeah, I think you just got to...
I'll email you separately.
Yeah, I think you just download the app. No, you just share us your insights right now. What's your insight from today? What's your takeaway?
I'll try. I can't get it set up on my laptop, and my phone doesn't seem to be. I don't know how to do it on my phone.
Oh, you can
comment. Press lots of different things.
Share it verbally right now with the group. Just tell me what it is on the phone right now.
Sorry. Right. Okay. Just for me, I think it's have a plan and a structure, and even if I come off as expected, have something each day.
Yeah.
So it's all unexpected, out of control at the moment. So yeah, it's what you said was spot on. Thanks.
Bring it back in a little bit. Just do a couple. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cool, guys. Thanks heaps for joining. That was awesome. Hope you guys got heaps out of that. We'll catch you in the group anyway. And like I said, just send me an email with any feedback you guys have got, or any learning lessons you had as well. Cool. And also maybe share I'll give you a recording. I'll put it in the group later, and, share your insights in the group as well if you feel like you had an epiphany or some aha moments. Awesome, guys. Speak to you soon. Good job.